Should you upgrade to the Asus ROG Ally X if you already have the Asus ROG Ally? So while many of us are excited about the new Asus ROG Ally X, what I've been thinking about lately is it actually worth it for you to upgrade from the Asus ROG Ally if you already have one? So let's go over what the upgrades the Ally X will bring. First off, it's going to be in the black body. So instead of the white body that we have on this one, it's going to be the black body. For many, this is a dream come true. I know a lot of people actually wanted that black version of the Ally. Well, for me, I personally really love the white aesthetic of this console. I really like the controllers and gaming tech in white, so this definitely feels more up my alley. It just looks a little bit different than, competition, so I actually prefer white, but I know a lot of people are looking forward for the black version, so this is one of the things that is going to be with the Ally X. Second off, it's going to be 24 gigabytes of RAM compared to the 16 gigabytes of RAM that is on here, so we're not really doubling up. Actually, we're getting 8 more gigabytes of RAM extra, so that's really good if you want to play games. There's just more RAM in total to use, and if I'm not wrong, it should be the faster type of RAM compared to this. But overall, it can be a nice benefit, but it doesn't have to, depending on the games that you play. But you have to remember that we're still sticking with the processor, which is the AMD Z1 Extreme that we have on the Ally right now. So in terms of performance, there will be a performance boost if the games require more RAM, and you can allocate more RAM to the gaming, but it's not going to be a different processor than we have on the Ally. There's going to be more storage from the get-go. On the Ally, you're starting with the 500 gigabytes of SSD. On the Ally X, you're starting with 1 terabyte of SSD, so double the storage of the original Ally. And also, they're making it easier for you to upgrade. You can actually upgrade with bigger SSD in terms of size, so with the M2 2208 SSD. Compared to the little tiny SSDs that we had for this, I personally did upgrade my Asus ROG Ally because 500 gigabytes was way too low for my usage. I wanted to really take advantage of as many games as I could, so I put a 2 terabyte of SSD inside of here, which kind of makes this upgrade obsolete for me. But if I didn't have this upgrade, I'll definitely buy the Ally X because 1 terabyte of storage is definitely a nice sweet spot if you want to have some games, but you don't want to be overflowing with games on your system. And I wish the white version came with 1 terabyte when it released. Also, the Ally is getting 2 USB-C ports. Instead of having the port for USB and for the external GPU, now it's going to be 2 actual USB-C connections to it. I'm guessing one for other external GPUs or other external monitors and everything like that, and other for the charging, so you can have 2 different things at the same time. Also, there's going to be upgrades to the sticks themselves. While these sticks are really good and really nice, well, they aren't the tightest and they aren't the best, so what they're doing is they're making them tighter and probably with a little bit better dead zones, so essentially they're going to be much better. I personally, when I play shooter games on this, I kind of feel like they aren't the perfect ones that I usually use on PS5 or other gaming consoles and controllers. Well, for action games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, these are perfect. It's no problem at all. But if you want to have the most precise as you can, definitely this is going to be a nice upgrade. And supposedly they're going to be more durable than the version 1. They also improved the ergonomics, which means on the back where you have the handles here, I don't know if you can see it, but we have the handles here where you're holding it like this. From what I saw, is a little bit more outside, so it's a little bit bigger of a handle. Also, the ergonomics of the triggers, they're much bigger now, which I don't think is really needed because those triggers are already big, so I guess it's a change too. And also the back buttons, while for me they're perfect and I wish there was 4 of them, for many they're too big and just people make accidental touches to them when playing games, so they made them a little bit smaller than here. And the biggest upgrade, in my opinion, on the Ally X over the Ally is definitely the 2 times battery. This has 40 watt-hour battery, while the Ally X has 80 watt-hour battery, which means it's twice as good as this. And while Ally isn't too good in terms of battery, I can still get nice gaming sessions from it. If you play around with settings and the power modes, you can really have those sweet spots, so you have AAA games for at least over an hour. But now with 80 watt-hour battery, 2 times the size of the Ally, This is a huge improvement in my opinion. It's gonna be really nice to play much longer on the Ally. Or you could play in higher settings for the same amount of time you would play on lower settings on this. That is a big improvement in my opinion, and I think for me personally, this would be the selling point of the Ally X. But hear me out, if you already have the Ally, is it really worth upgrading to the Ally X? Well, the RAM is nice and the different SSDs options are nice. If you already have the Ally, and in my case you already upgraded it, I have 2 terabytes of storage. This is not an upgrade. I don't need to have a different option. RAM, well, it is nice. I find myself playing games and it's still working nice with the RAM that it has on here. So 16 gigabytes of RAM is definitely still good to go. For me, the biggest one is the battery upgrade, but instead of changing the whole Ally and getting everything traded in, selling this one, getting the other one, you can actually get a power bank that would support this Ally. So in turn, you could cheaply make an upgrade that would get this one closer to the Ally X. So you really have to ask yourselves if the upgrades that we have for the Ally X are something that you really want or really need when getting the Ally X. Because in my opinion, if you already have the Ally, I wouldn't actually go for the Ally X. In other words, I would say just save up with the Ally. It's still a great piece of hardware, and because the Ally X isn't an Ally 2, that means it's more like a Pro version of the Ally. So there is just kind of fixes and improvements compared to the Ally 1. So if nothing of those improvements is a must for you, I would stick with the Ally. But if you don't have the Asus ROG Ally, I would actually think about getting the Ally X or waiting for others to sell their Ally Z1 Extreme models, because there's gonna be people that are gonna sell them, which means you can get them for a little bit cheaper. I would go for used or on sale Ally, or get the Ally X if I don't have one already. But if you already have this, I would stick with it. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comment section down below. With that being said, this is gonna be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I'll see you next time.